My husband cheated and took our daughter's college money. I made him leave and started my life over. At 32 years old, I never imagined myself in this predicament. Yet here I am. My husband, Andy, 34, and I have shared 5 years of marriage, blessed with a 3-year-old daughter, Tiffany. Our journey commenced a decade ago at a barbecue hosted by a mutual friend. Fresh out of college, I had just embarked on my career as a junior graphic designer, while Andy was making strides at a tech startup. Our connection was instantaneous, united by a fondness for 90s sitcoms and a penchant for spicy cuisine. Our bond deepened swiftly. Within a year of meeting, we moved in together. 2 years later, Andy proposed during a picturesque beach getaway, complete with my favorite strawberry champagne. Our wedding was intimate, celebrated with our nearest and dearest. It was made even more significant as my father, then battling cancer, walked me down the aisle. He passed away 6 months later, rendering those memories invaluable. Throughout my father's illness, Andy was steadfast, comforting me through tears, injecting humor during sorrow, and indulging my hours spent poring over family photographs. His unwavering support not only helped me through my grief, but also deepened my love for him. Believing nothing could tear us apart, we decided to expand our family 2 years into our marriage. Conceiving Tiffany proved challenging, marked by strenuous fertility treatments. However, after enduring these hardships, we were elated to learn of our impending arrival. Tiffany was a perfect blend of us both, Andy's cerulean eyes and my curly locks. She captured our hearts instantly. However, our bliss was disrupted when Andy's startup was acquired by a larger tech firm. He was offered a pivotal role at their headquarters, requiring us to relocate. This move meant a 20% increase in salary and significant career advancement for Andy, aligning with data that suggests over 60% of tech employees would relocate for a job with such benefits. Despite the promise of professional growth, it meant leaving our support network behind, posing new challenges for our family. Making the move was a heart-wrenching decision. My mother was aging, and the thought of distancing Tiffany from her beloved grandmother weighed heavily on me. Although Andy's parents had retired to Florida, making them less accessible, it was our tight-knit community of friends, forged during college and through parenting groups, that made leaving particularly difficult. Nonetheless, we viewed the relocation as an adventure, an opportunity to forge new beginnings in a different setting. We sold the home we had painstakingly renovated over countless weekends and holidays and purchased a larger residence in our new city, complete with a spacious backyard for Tiffany and an extra room we envisioned as a nursery for a potential future sibling. Initially, the transition seemed smooth. Andy threw himself into his new role, often working extended hours to establish his reputation. Meanwhile, I dedicated myself to full-time parenting, focusing on settling into our new home and trying to integrate into local mom groups. Despite my efforts, the bonds weren't forming as quickly as I'd hoped, and I sorely missed the deep connections and shared histories with my longtime friends. However, about 6 months ago, a shift in Andy's demeanor became apparent. His late nights multiplied, his phone seemed glued to his hand, and a palpable distance grew between us. Our cherished date nights dwindled and eventually ceased. Concerned, I confronted him, only to have my worries dismissed as mere work-related stress. He claimed his new role demanded far more than he had anticipated, and he was under significant pressure to perform. Recalling his support during my father's darkest days, I endeavored to be understanding. But 2 months ago, the harsh truth surfaced. Andy was having an affair with a coworker, Sammy, 29. The revelation came through the cliché yet jarring medium of a text message, which flashed on his screen while he showered. "Can't wait to see you later, babe. Last night was amazing." I was shattered. This scenario is far from unique. Statistics reveal that emotional and physical distancing in relationships, compounded by new environments and job stresses, can increase infidelity risks by up to 35%. This unfortunate reality was now mine to face. When I confronted Andy, he broke down and confessed everything. He explained that it began innocently with Sammy, who was also new to the company. Bonding over their shared newcomer status, their interactions escalated from lunches to after-work drinks. He insisted it was never meant to go further, but after a particularly taxing day at work, One drink led to another. Heartbroken yet earnest, he swore the affair was over and pleaded for my forgiveness. Andy expressed profound remorse, asserting his love for me and Tiffany surpassed everything else. He vowed to do whatever necessary to mend our family. I found myself at a crossroads. Despite the profound betrayal, my love for Andy endured, strengthened by memories of our wedding, my father's passing, the challenges of conceiving Tiffany, and our recent move. Andy wasn't just my husband, he was Tiffany's father and the person I had envisioned growing old with. The thought of tearing our family apart, especially knowing how much Tiffany adored her dad, was almost as agonizing as the betrayal itself. Yet this wasn't a mere slip, it was a prolonged deception. Andy had come home to Tiffany and me after days spent with another woman. How could I possibly trust him again? After much deliberation, I chose to give him another chance, but with strict conditions. He would need to leave his job to eliminate any contact with Sammy. We would attend marriage counseling to address our underlying issues. Furthermore, he was to provide complete transparency in his communications. No more passwords, no secretive late nights. Andy complied with all the demands. He secured employment at another company, joined me in counseling, and granted me full access to his digital life. Gradually, we started reconnecting as a family. Our conversations deepened, and trust began to rebuild. The counseling sessions improved our communication, fostering a glimmer of hope that perhaps we could overcome this ordeal. However, just when it seemed we were turning a corner, I stumbled upon unsettling discrepancies while using Andy's laptop to check our joint bank account. There were transactions that didn't make sense. I discovered multiple large withdrawals and transfers from our joint account to an unfamiliar one. Initially, I suspected a mistake or perhaps fraud. However, a deeper investigation revealed emails between Andy and Sammy discussing their plans to move in together. It was a harsh revelation. Andy had never ended the affair. While pretending to commit to our marriage, he was clandestinely planning his future with Sammy. The money from our account was being funneled to establish their new life together. His supposed late nights at work, they were spent with Sammy. The marriage counseling sessions, merely a facade to allay my suspicions. When I confronted Andy upon his return home, he didn't bother with excuses. He admitted his feelings plainly, confessing his love for Sammy and his intention to leave me. He attempted to justify his deceit by claiming he had been searching for the right moment to tell me, insisting he still cared for Tiffany and me but could no longer deny his feelings for Sammy. My devastation was compounded by the deep betrayal of trust. He had manipulated me into believing we were mending our relationship, all the while orchestrating his departure. Feeling utterly foolish for trusting him once more, I reflected on the countless hours spent in counseling, the tears, and the effort I invested in salvaging our marriage, all in vain. Now, left to confront the aftermath alone, I've expelled Andy from our home and am preparing for a divorce. The uncertainty of the future terrifies me. Stranded in a new city without a robust support network, responsible for a young daughter, and grappling with the financial havoc wrought by Andy's deceit is overwhelming. The funds he misappropriated were earmarked for Tiffany's college education, a plan we had cherished since her birth, now severely compromised. Explaining the situation to Tiffany is my next daunting challenge. At just 3 years old, she is acutely aware that something is amiss, persistently questioning why her daddy isn't around to tuck her in. How do I explain to a child so young that her father has chosen to start a new life, leaving us behind? Navigating life as a single mother in an unfamiliar city, devoid of friends or family support, presents daunting challenges. My mother, burdened by age, cannot easily travel, and our cherished friends remain in our hometown. Resigning from my career to support Andy's ambitions has left me with a glaring resume gap in an ever-evolving industry. My frustration with Andy for thrusting us into this predicament is immense, but I also harbor resentment towards myself for not piercing through his deceit sooner. Were there overlooked signs? Could I have foreseen the recurrence of betrayal? The memories of our interactions haunt me, prompting endless speculation if anything could have been done differently. In seeking guidance on navigating this upheaval, I am compelled to ask, how do I disclose this to Tiffany? What steps should I take to reconstruct my life? If anyone has endured similar hardships, your insights would be invaluable. currently enveloped by solitude and distress. I am in dire need of encouragement and support. Update 1. A month has elapsed since my initial post, during which considerable developments have unfolded. I extend my heartfelt gratitude for the compassion and counsel offered. It provided solace during those initial tumultuous days. Following Andy's departure, I sought legal advice. A recommendation from a mother in my support group led me to a seasoned divorce attorney. Her first directive was to freeze our joint accounts, a measure that proved prudent when Andy attempted a substantial withdrawal the following day, presumably to furnish an apartment he and Sammy had secured. I have since been compiling evidence of Andy's infidelity and financial duplicity. The lawyer emphasized the importance of this documentation for the divorce and custody proceedings. Delving into the emails and bank statements that chronicled Andy's deceit was excruciating, yet it fortified my resolve to proceed with the divorce. The digital paper trail of their relationship extended back months, predating my initial confrontation about the affair. Andy and Sammy had been envisioning their future together even as he sat opposite me in marriage counseling, vowing to mend our fractured relationship. The most challenging aspect, however, was explaining to Tiffany why her daddy could no longer live with us. Following a child psychologist's advice, I gently told her that Daddy had made some poor decisions and couldn't stay with us, but reassured her of our unchanging love. Seeing Tiffany struggle with the absence of her father is heart-wrenching. She has been asking about Andy daily, plagued by nightmares, and has resumed bedwetting, behaviors she had outgrown over a year ago. The psychologist assured me that these were normal reactions for a child grappling with such significant changes, yet it doesn't ease the pain of witnessing her distress. In a desperate bid to salvage what was left, Andy attempted to retract his actions when faced with the reality of our impending divorce. He professed a sudden realization of his errors, claiming the allure of a new relationship had clouded his judgment, and expressed a fervent desire to restore our family. However, I am resolute in my decision this time, insisting that any discussions involving us go through our attorneys, unless they concern Tiffany directly. Surprisingly, Sammy reached out to me, claiming ignorance of our marital status. She was under the impression that Andy and I were already in the process of separating, as he had misled her about the state of our union. Despite her apologies and claim of unintended involvement, the damage remains irreparable, and her awareness at the time changes little for me. On a brighter note, I have begun the search for employment. Having been out of the workforce since Tiffany's birth, and a graphic designer before that, I find the industry considerably evolved. To catch up, I've enrolled in online courses to update my skills and familiarize myself with the latest software, now standard in graphic design. Balancing study time with caring for Tiffany is challenging, but it's empowering to take proactive steps toward rebuilding our lives. Despite being potentially overqualified, I've attended several interviews for entry-level positions. Right now, any job feels like a step towards the financial independence I need. I'm optimistic about finding a position soon. Meanwhile, I've secured some freelance graphic design work through online platforms. It's not a substantial income, but it's sufficient to keep us afloat and beneficial for my portfolio. I've also connected with local mom groups, finding solace and practical advice among women who have faced similar hardships. One mom, Lisa, whose son attends the same preschool as Tiffany, has especially become a pillar of support. Having navigated her own divorce, she understands the challenges I face. Lisa has been invaluable, helping with Tiffany during my interviews and offering a listening ear whenever I need to vent. My parents have suggested that Tiffany and I move back home with them. The offer is appealing for the support it would provide, but I'm reluctant to uproot Tiffany again amidst so much change. She is just beginning to adapt to her preschool and new friendships here. For now, I'm determined to make it work here, though relocating back home remains a consideration, particularly if I fail to secure a job locally soon. The divorce proceedings have commenced and promise to be contentious. Andy is disputing the equitable division of assets, arguing that he shouldn't have to split everything equally as he was the primary breadwinner. He even claims entitlement to the funds he withdrew from our joint account, asserting that it was his earnings. However, my lawyer is confident in our case, emphasizing that the court will consider my career sacrifices to support his ambitions and our child's upbringing. Navigating this process is an emotional whirlwind. On some days, I feel empowered and ready to face the world as a single mother. On others, the burden of grief and uncertainty about our future leaves me struggling to find the strength to rise in the morning. Day by day, I'm striving to focus on what's best for Tiffany and myself. I'm committed to establishing new routines that provide a sense of stability amidst the chaos. Additionally, I've begun therapy to process my feelings regarding Andy's betrayal and to rebuild my self-esteem. Reflecting on our marriage, I realize how much of myself was lost, particularly after we relocated for Andy's job. Gradually, I'm rediscovering who I am beyond being Andy's wife and Tiffany's mother. Thank you all for the continuous support. Sharing my journey and receiving such compassion from strangers has been incredibly affirming. I'll provide another update when there are significant developments. Update 2. It's been 3 months since my last post and 6 months since uncovering Andy's deceit. Much has changed, and I'm eager to share these updates with you. The highlight is that I've secured a job, an entry-level position at a marketing firm specializing in digital design. It marks a step back into the workforce, not quite at the level I left off, but it's a positive start. The position offers flexible hours, which is crucial for managing my responsibilities as a single parent. My boss, Maria, has shown tremendous understanding, allowing me to work from home 2 days a week. Balancing work and single parenthood is daunting, yet achieving financial independence again has been empowering. This opportunity arose through a connection I made in one of the mom groups. Jenna, another mom, works at the firm and recommended me, highlighting the unexpected yet vital role of networking. I am profoundly grateful for the community I've found here, despite the challenging circumstances that brought me to it. As for the divorce, progress is slow. Andy initially attempted to undercut the settlement, offering far less than what I am legally entitled to, under the pretense of being the primary earner. However, my lawyer has been resolute, emphasizing how my role as a stay-at-home parent enabled Andy to advance his career. Negotiations are ongoing, but it appears I'll secure a fair portion of our assets, including the house. Interestingly, Andy's attempts to obscure financial activities have backfired dramatically in court. The judge's reaction was notably unfavorable when we revealed evidence of Andy redirecting funds for his life with Sammy, suggesting that I might be entitled to a larger share of our assets due to his deceit. The custody battle is equally intense. Andy is advocating for equal custody, but given his pattern of dishonesty and his current living situation with Sammy, my lawyer is confident we have a strong case for me receiving primary custody, with Andy granted visitation rights. We've documented Andy's sporadic involvement in Tiffany's life, including his failures to adhere to visitation commitments and numerous last-minute cancellations, which seems to be influencing the judge's perspective in our favor, though the outcome remains uncertain. Tiffany is gradually adapting to our new circumstances. She still experiences moments of distress, particularly at bedtime, calling out for Andy, but she is growing more accustomed to our new routine each day. To aid in her emotional recovery, I've enrolled her in play therapy, which has been beneficial according to her therapist. While progress is steady, we've been advised that fully adjusting to our altered family dynamic will require time. Tiffany has also become notably more dependent on my presence, showing signs of anxiety when I drop her off at preschool or when she's not by my side at home, often seeking comfort and sharing my bed at night. Her therapist reassures that this behavior is typical under the circumstances and has equipped me with strategies to help bolster her sense of security. Personally, I'm finding my footing again. The mom group I've joined has become indispensable, offering both support and respite. We organize regular playdates, and the adult interaction has been incredibly supportive. Last weekend, we enjoyed a makeshift spa day at Lisa's home, complete with face masks and nail polish, providing a much-needed opportunity to unwind and bond. Additionally, I've begun attending yoga classes twice a week, which has been instrumental in managing my stress and regaining mental clarity. The few hours of respite I get when my mom watches Tiffany have significantly reduced my stress levels. Yoga is teaching me mindfulness and presence, which are crucial as I navigate the complexities of the divorce and single parenthood. In an unexpected twist, Andy and Sammy have parted ways. It seems the combined pressures of their relationship, along with the ongoing divorce and custody battles, proved too much for them. Andy saw their breakup as an opportunity to propose reconciliation, but I firmly declined. The depth of mistrust and betrayal we've experienced is too great, and I cannot return to that turmoil. Despite the pain, it's clear Andy has begun to reflect on his actions. He has become more reliable in his visitations with Tiffany, and has even proposed providing more child support than what might be mandated by the courts. While part of me appreciates his efforts to be a better father, I'm also frustrated that it required such drastic circumstances for him to appreciate his responsibilities. Looking forward, I'm cautiously optimistic. This journey has been arduous, but I'm beginning to envision a future for Tiffany and me shaped by our choices, not Andy's. I'm committed to strengthening our new life, taking it one day at a time. I'm even considering enrolling in advanced design courses to boost my career opportunities. Challenges remain on the horizon. The divorce isn't finalized, and co-parenting with Andy will likely continue to present obstacles. However, I feel empowered and more adept at managing whatever challenges may arise. The support and advice from this community have been invaluable, and I am deeply grateful. I'll provide another update once the divorce is officially complete. Update 3. It's been a year since my first post, and I'm ready to share a final update. Much has evolved, and I'm in a far better place now. The divorce has been legally settled after enduring months of negotiations and court sessions. I secured primary custody of Tiffany, with Andy entitled to visitation every other weekend and one evening per week. We sold our former house and divided the proceeds, enabling me to make a down payment on a cozy condo. It's smaller than our previous home, but it's truly ours. And together, Tiffany and I are transforming it into our own sanctuary. Financial stability has been achieved as well. I continue to thrive at the marketing firm, having recently been promoted to senior designer. Balancing the demands of single parenthood with a full-time job is challenging, yet rewarding. Additionally, I've initiated a small freelance graphic design business. This venture mainly occupies my weekends when Tiffany stays with Andy, contributing not only extra income, but also an opportunity to enhance my professional portfolio. Tiffany is flourishing in our new setting. She has adapted remarkably to life's changes, excelling in kindergarten, forging new friendships, and discovering a passion for ballet. Her interactions with Andy have evolved, yet it's heartening to witness their strengthening bond. Andy's newfound consistency in visitations has played a crucial role in stabilizing her sense of security. Co-parenting with Andy presents its hurdles, but we're navigating them through the use of a co-parenting app. This tool assists us in managing Tiffany's schedules and needs, maintaining civility, and a child-focused approach. Despite occasional tensions, particularly during holidays and special events, our mutual dedication to Tiffany's well-being prevails. This journey has spurred significant personal growth. Therapy has proven beneficial, enlightening me on the importance of setting boundaries and self-appreciation. I've re-engaged with hobbies and interests neglected during my marriage, such as joining a book club and revisiting my passion for painting, an activity I cherished in college but set aside in the ensuing years. I've also cautiously stepped back into the dating scene. Meeting a single father through Tiffany's school has opened the door to new possibilities. While our relationship is in its early stages, the pleasure of engaging in adult conversations about topics beyond work or parenting is refreshing. Through these tumultuous times, my relationship with my family has notably strengthened. My mom visits more frequently, and we communicate daily. Her unwavering support has been a cornerstone in both emotional and practical aspects. Additionally, I've rekindled relationships with friends from before my move. Modern technology has been instrumental in maintaining these connections, for which I am deeply grateful. Andy and I have achieved a level of civil co-parenting. While it's not without its challenges, marked occasionally by residual resentment and pain, our mutual commitment to prioritizing Tiffany's well-being has guided our interactions. Andy has expressed remorse for his actions multiple times. While the memories of what transpired will never fade, I am learning to forgive, fostering my own peace of mind. Reflecting on the past year, the transformation in my life is profound. There were moments of doubt when I feared I might not overcome the obstacles, but I emerged stronger and more joyful than I could have anticipated. This journey has taught me resilience and the importance of seeking support when needed. To anyone facing similar challenges, remember, improvement comes with time. The path isn't devoid of hardship, but your strength is greater than any obstacle. Embrace support, prioritize self-care, and approach each day with resolve. Thank you all for accompanying me on this journey. Your counsel and support have been indispensable. While this chapter of my life is concluding, I am filled with optimism about what lies ahead for Tiffany and me. Comments from readers reflect a spectrum of encouragement and empathy. One remarked on the incredible strength and resilience I've demonstrated, highlighting the positive role model I am for Tiffany. Another has followed my journey from the start, praising the dignified manner in which I navigated these challenges. Others share personal stories of overcoming similar hardships, offering reassurance that things do improve, and commending the focus on my daughter's well-being as inspirational. This collective support underscores the progress and healing that have occurred, and I am eager to see what the future holds as we move forward with renewed strength and hope.